My name is Michelle Rosario, and this is my American History 1 reflection on David Crockett from the wild frontier to Disney World. Frontiersman, politician, celebrity? In order to understand how historical figures impacted their own time, it is necessary to look at the legacy they have left behind in modern day times. Just a little background on Davy. He was born in East Tennessee, which is one of the reasons I chose him. I myself am also an East Tennessean, and old Davy Crockett is one of the first people we learn about in our Tennessee history class. He was hired out as a servant by his father to pay off family debt. He ran away from home as a teenager and lived off the land, sometimes hunting bears as a source of food. He did not have a formal education, but despite this, he won a seat as a congressman for Tennessee. And as we all know, he died at the Alamo. Now, after Mr. Crockett lost his seat in Congress, he failed at several business ventures, including barrel making, where he was almost killed when his boat capsized. He committed political suicide by speaking out against Andrew Jackson's Native American policy. And Davy Crockett never actually went by the name Davy while he was still alive. He preferred David Crockett. He took out a license to marry the woman who would have been his first wife, but she refused to marry him because of his reputation. David the politician. The frontiersman ran for U.S. Congress in 1826 and emerged victorious thanks to his views on squatters' rights. As an American pioneer, he felt obligated to allow newly arriving settlers a chance to make a go of it in their new surroundings. Even though he was known as an Indian fighter, he eventually took an opposing view to the Indian Removal Act. This caused animosity between he and Andrew Jackson. Touted by the Whigs as the candidate to oppose Jackson's hand-picked successor, Martin Van Buren, in the 1836 election, Crockett was defeated in his 1835 congressional bid with the help of Jackson and Governor William Carroll. They elected Adam Huntsman, a peg-legged lawyer, temporarily disenchanting Crockett with politics and his constituents, prompting him to make the now famous remark, "Since you have chosen to elect a man with a timber toe to succeed me, you may all go to hell, and I will go to Texas." David the frontiersman. David proceeded to go to Texas to revive his political career. He intended to become a land agent for the territory and saw the future of an independent Texas as intertwined with his own. He, along with other volunteers, were awarded more than 4,500 acres of Texas land for their 6-month sign-up as volunteers for the Provisional Government of Texas. He died at the Alamo, where he was defending Texas against the Mexican General Santa Anna. David Crockett was a notorious self-promoter. He sometimes even bragged about his lack of education, his failures, and backwoods adventures. He entertained people with stories about his sharpshooting, hunting, and adventures in the wild. Reporters wrote articles about the wild frontiersman, and he became famous long before Disney came along. There were very few people in American history who were famous before they were killed in battle, but Crockett was one of those people. Notoriety gave Crockett's image a life of its own. By 1831, Crockett had become the model for Nimrod Wildfire, the hero of James Kirkpatrick's play, The Lion of the West, as well as the subject of numerous books and articles. The Alamo sealed the deal for Crockett's already iconic folklore status. According to Clark, Crockett died in Texas in 1836 during the famous siege at the Alamo, but his death only brought him more glory. He's been portrayed in depictions of the battle using his trusty musket, Old Betsy, as a club, dealing blows to Mexican soldiers. In 1960, John Wayne portrayed Crockett in the Oscar-winning movie The Alamo. In the 1950s, Disney turned Davy Crockett into a household name with Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. A media-generated event, it occurred at the moment when television first began to reach a mass market, and Disney launched its enterprise with the innovative premise that children represented a renewable audience. At the height of the craze, American youth drove their parents crazy with countless renditions of the Ballad of Davy Crockett.
Davy, Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
And demands for coonskin caps and fringed deerskin jackets and pants. Today, children meet Crockett on the Disney Channel on cable television. Today, in Walt Disney World, Orlando, there is a land specifically dedicated to the legendary frontiersman, politician, and folklore figure. Frontierland is sure to capture the imagination of little adventurers. Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes and Crockett's Tavern are two of the attractions with Davy's namesake. In Walt Disney World, France, there's even a resort called Davy Crockett's Ranch where fans can relax in a rusted log cabin setting. And of course, as an East Tennessean myself, I have to mention that every University of Tennessee football fan is familiar with the mascot flag bearer. He runs out before every game waving the UT flag donned in a coonskin cap and fringed buckskin. He is modeled after Davy Crockett and is simply known as the Volunteer. His image has been incorporated into the symbol for the University of Tennessee. Go Vols! For all of his boastful storytelling and even failures, Crockett is not remembered as a comic figure, and he's not remembered for what he didn't accomplish. He has kept his place in the American pantheon for what he represented, the rustic virtue of relentless courage, whether in killing a bear or facing certain death from Mexican bayonets.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.